All right, so we've got two eyes and a head. Let's do a nose next. And for the nose, we're going to use this pear right here. Now, the pear is kind of small, hard to see. We wouldn't be able to select very well off of that. So let's go down to the magnifying glass tool, or the zoom tool, looks like a magnifying glass. And if we click and drag on that area, we can zoom in. See how mine has a minus sign right now? If I hold the Alt key, it'll go to a plus sign, and I can click and drag. Or sorry, click and it will enlarge. And we can also look down here in the bottom left of the window, has got 500% there. That gives us a readout of how much enlargement we've got. So if I wanted to, I could just click 500% and it jumps up to it. And then grab the hand tool and drag it over to our soon-to-be a nose. Okay. The color of this pear is pretty similar. So we're going to use what's called the magic wand tool. Now you probably would have used this before when we were selecting the white background on a previous example. So this is designed to select areas of similar tones. And the one that we did with the background, the white background, was very, very similar. Here's a little bit more variation. So we can click in that area. Notice I'm on the right pupil again. Jace. Click on the background layer to make it active. I'm still on my magnifying glass tool. Click on the background. Ching. Notice how it's drawn a line around that tool, around that pear. And it's selected as many tones as it can similar to the background around that pear. So if I want to add these other tones in, I can hold the Alt key down to subtract, or I can hold the Shift key down and get a little plus sign out of that and click, and it will add tones similar. So see how as I keep clicking, it's selecting those various tones. But clicking on the background, notice how it's got the selection of the background area. And actually what I want is to select the pear. So let's go up to Select, Deselect. Wait a second. Deselect. Thank you. There we go. And now, try again. I'm on the background layer. I will click inside the pear, and let's see how much it gets. Well, that's a pretty good section, but not nearly enough. Hold the Shift key down, and keep clicking to add more of the areas to our selection. Okay. So that gives me plenty. It doesn't go right up against the edge, but you can see how pixelated that edge is. I'm going through all these mistakes because these are mistakes people make. And so it's kind of funny for me to copy them and do them again. All right. So I'm going to Command C for copy. And then I will do Command V for paste. Notice it's made a new layer 1 in the layers palette. I click on my Move tool. There's my copy of the pear. If I want to jump out to the whole document, if I go to the Hand tool, I can double click on the Hand tool, or I could change the percentage mark down there in the bottom. Everything in Photoshop has got multiple ways of doing it. So I click back on the Move tool and I can grab that nose and drag it over there and stick it on the Veggie Head face. I will call that nose very elegantly, and every time you make a change that you're satisfied with, go up here, File, and Save. I don't need to do Save As each time. That allows you to make a copy, but I'm happy to keep working on this same copy that I've already renamed Covar 209 Veggie Head. All right. So I just have to do File and Save, or Command S. You'll be doing this a zillion times, so it's a lot easier to do Command S than going up to the menu each time. Okay. We've got two eyes, we've got a nose, now we need a mouth. Now, the way they suggest making the mouth is to take this kiwi fruit and do an elliptical marquee selection from that. So let's go to our magnifying glass, zoom in a bit, go up to the elliptical marquee, and again, it doesn't have to be exact, but let's make one that is about the shape we want. I can click in the middle of it and move it around, decide if I like that. If I don't like it, I can go up to the menu, deselect, or Command D, and try again. I always start from the top left for whatever reason. Make it a little bit bigger, slide it over there. Okay, notice this time I remembered to check. I have the nose palette highlighted, or the nose layer highlighted, which is not what we want. We want the background layer. Command C to copy, Command V to paste, grab the Move tool, and there it is. Double click on the Hand tool to zoom out. I can't move that layer with the Hand tool. Whoa, I have to go back to the Move tool. Okay, we're zipping along here. Ta-da! Look, we have somebody going there. So these are the basic versions. So what I want is this repetition for you to work through these tools and then give us something different. You do not have to do it the standard way. Okay? Layer 1 becomes mouth. Okay. And let's see. What do we want to do next? We want to put some ears on this face. Got to have some ears. And they're suggesting that this slice of a grapefruit counts as an ear. Well, you'll see. This time we're going to use the tool called the magnetic lasso tool. So it is the third one down. Okay. So lasso tool is pretty handy, but I'm terrible at using that. The magnetic lasso tool. Every time that we have a little triangle in the bottom corner of that tool icon, means you can click and hold, and it will give you the options. We'll use the polygonal lasso tool when we go to chop out that bow tie of a piece of pasta, but right now we're going to use the magnetic lasso tool. Okay. Magnetic lasso tool looks for edges, looks for contrast between pixels. So we're going to drag along the outside edge using this tool, and it will see the contrast between the grapefruit slice and the background. Let me click on my background layer, starting over here, and I'm going to use the cursor and just click and drag. And notice that it's dropping points. I don't have to be super precise here because it's actually evaluating the nearby pixels and deciding what it should be. Get back to the beginning, get that little circle next to the tool icon. Oops, click there, okay? And now I've got my marching ants. You can see that it's not perfectly precise, but it's very quick for what you want to do. Okay. On my background layer, I do Command C, Command V, grab that Move tool, and I've got that ear. But that does not work much like an ear, so I need to move it into place. I'm going to go up to, let me go ahead and we'll make this the right ear. Now I'm going to adjust that layer, or transform that layer, I should say. Go up to the Edit menu, go down to Transform, and let's rotate it 90 degrees clockwise. Each time you make a change with the Transform tool, you have to confirm that change with this little checkbox up at the top. Click there, or you can also hit the Return key. Okay, a bit big for an ear. So let me go back to the Edit, Transform, and this time I'm going to scale it. So again, I've got this bounding box, and I can grab each of those corners and adjust the size. Now, I've got relatively big ears, so let's leave that pretty big. And when I'm happy with that, I can just hit the return key or that checkbox up there. If you decide you don't like that, you can hit the do not do, what is that, the reject button, whatever, cancel, there you go, cancel it. Go back to Edit, Transform, Scale, great, hit the return key. Okay. Notice in that Transform menu that it's got a lot of options, so try them out. See what you like. I've got the right ear. Now I need to make a left ear. So instead of copying and pasting again, I'm going to duplicate this layer. I've got the layer highlighted. I can roll over the tiny little lines there, click and hold, and I can do duplicate layer. Now, will I be able to bring that? Yes, I can. Sorry, that dialog box popped up on the other screen. So I don't want to call this the right ear copy. I want to call this left ear. Take off the word copy. Bing! So now I've got a right ear and a left ear. Where is it? Right on top of the same one.